Hi everyone! Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'll start off by introducing myself and what my channel is all about. My name's Madison Young. I'm a 15-year-old artist and I love drawing in a hyper-realistic style. About my channel, I'll try to be posting every Friday, and I'll be posting a variety of tutorials, speed draws, and other art-related videos. Here I am drawing the petals of the flower. I'm trying to create a detailed texture on the surface of each of the petals. To do this, I start off by using my darker colors, such as my blues and my purples, and building up a texture by starting off with a flat color and building up with darker veins with my darker colors. After I've got that done, I take my white color pencil and I go over and really define where each of the veins are on the flower. Drawing this purple flowers was super fun. I really loved the color palette of them and it was very fun to render different details. Now moving on to my yellow flower, I'm trying to create more of a variety of textures and colors by including not only yellow but also browns and greens and oranges to really give it a realistic look. To do the texture of the yellow flowers, I'm creating a lot of lines in one direction, similar to how I would draw fur. Moving on to the frosting, it was probably one of the most difficult things to draw on this picture. It was very hard to give it shadows without being too harsh because of it's such a light cream color. I didn't want it to be too yellow either, but I still wanted it to be visible in the picture, so it definitely gave me a few challenges. One tip for drawing colors that are very light is to give it subtle shadows and highlights in its similar color palette. So I would shade the cream color with yellows and browns, but not too harsh. Now moving on to the syrup, I tried to give it a very blended, smooth look, or else it would look too textured and it wouldn't look like syrup. So I'm just going over it many times and layering a lot because that's important to creating a smooth, blended look when it comes to colored pencils. This part of the cupcake was also very difficult to draw because of all the little tiny details and different colors that there were, and I didn't want it to come out looking muddy because there was a lot of harsh shadows and a lot of the light cream color is seen on the frosting. And I'm just rendering more of the syrup there and really blending it out because that's very important when it comes to creating the texture of syrup and other similar substances. Also, I just wanted to mention that I'm sorry about all the different cuts in the video. This was my first time ever recording my full process of a drawing, so it was kind of hard to always get the angle right of my camera, and I would always accidentally bump the tripod or something and the angle would shift so slightly, but I would not be able to get it back to how it was. So I tried my best to crop the video, but it still came out looking pretty jumpy, so I'm very sorry about that. I'd also like to talk about some future video ideas. So this is the first of a series of 3 cupcakes. The other 2 I'll be working on is a strawberry cupcake with white frosting and a strawberry on top, and the cherry cupcake with pink frosting and a cherry on top. So obviously this is the first of 3, and I'll be selling prints of all 3 of the cupcakes, which you can check out later on my store. www.diamonddraws.com, and there will also be a link in the description, so if you'd like to check that out, it means a lot. Also, if you have any other topic videos that you'd like me to talk about, such as finding a good reference photo or different art supplies, just let me know in the comments, or you can message me on Instagram. It's Diamond Draws. Also, a link will be in the description for that too. So I'm almost done rendering the frosting here. Soon I'll be going back and adding highlights to really bring it to life and give it that shininess that frosting usually has. I tried not to go too yellow on the frosting, but I feel like at some parts I didn't render it as well as I could have, and I added a bit too much yellow where it wasn't necessary. So here I'm starting the cake, and really the way that I like to draw cake texture is I like to kind of scribble a bunch of circles and really build up like a rough looking texture, and I'm not really doing it exact to the reference photo. I'm just kind of scribbling all over and just getting it like approximately, like if I notice there's like a string of like black shadows, I'll try to match that up as closely as I can with the reference photo, but really nobody's gonna check that, so it can be more looser than the rest of the drawing. And as I mentioned before, I'll be going over it with some highlights to really bring it to life and give it a realistic texture. So now I am starting on with the wrapper. This is probably another one of the challenging parts of the drawing, once again because it has a light color, but also because of all the little details, and because drawing paper is surprisingly hard for me. It's just a really weird texture, and there's a bunch of like little lines that I always seem to misplace or draw too dark. So while I was drawing the wrapper, I noticed it was coming out really gray compared to how my reference photo looked, because I really wanted the wrapper to be blue so that in this drawing it could be a blue, yellow, and purple color palette. So I decided to fix this by just going over the wrapper a few times with a blue colored pencil to give it more of a light blue look. Once again, I was really struggling with drawing the texture of the paper, so I just decided to try and give it sort of a textured look by drawing a bunch of little lines in the direction that the wrapper seems to be going, and it looked similar to the texture of paper, so I was pretty happy with that. And I just went over and added all my highlights, so you can really see how it gives the piece, it really brings it to life, because before the cake looked really flat, but now it has some highlights, so it looks a lot more realistic. Moving on with the wrapper, I really tried to pull in some more blues, purples, and pinks so that it wouldn't look as gray and dull, and it would give it more of like a blue tone. And I was really getting tired of drawing the texture of the wrapper, so I kind of got a bit lazy towards the end and didn't give it as much texture, so that might be the reason why the left of the cupcake looks a lot better than the right. But yeah, here I'm just finishing up and just adding a few final touches and finishing up the unfinished areas. And there's the completed piece. So once again, if you're interested in buying prints of this, there's a link in my description, and I'll have prints up on my shop soon. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you!